Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Stationeers. So, a little bit of an announcement. There is a new planet to mess around on called Vulcan. It's super hot, it's very sunny, and full of minerals. It is pretty challenging to survive on that, so if you are down for the challenge, go ahead and start a new world on Vulcan. Yeah, I won't be doing that. I, of course, have a giant, massive base to complete. So, no Vulcan for me. What am I doing here? I'm going floor by floor. That was sort of the concept. So, this floor here is essentially done. For all intents and purposes, this floor is good and done. I did have some tips regarding this floor a little bit, so let me go address those quickly. And for me to do that, I need to get some materials. I also did a little bit of mining so that I could, if I needed to, I could smelt for additional resources. Just to let you all know. Alright, wall and plastic. That's what I want. I gotta say, whatever patch just dropped on Steam, I am definitely, absolutely getting some micro stutters here. So I don't know if you all are having the same sort of performance issues that I currently am having with, Stationeers, but roll back if it's bad. That's all I'm gonna say. So, Stationeers. One of the suggestions was that, well, let me turn off my jetpack. Arca mentioned that I could add some windowless windows here, just to make it look a little bit nicer, and I probably agree. That looks a little bit nicer than this, right? This sort of looks incompleted. So yeah, we'll do that. It still allows the oxygen, or whatever, atmosphere in general, to flow effortlessly around. But it just looks a little bit better. Alright, so this floor is all done, except for, of course, these holes here. I think all of the windows are double paned. As you can see, it's a little bit dimmer. One thing I do need to add, and maybe I'll add it around here, is a light switch that controls all the lights at once. Or maybe even all of the... a switch that controls all of the things that illuminate. All of these temperature and pressure monitors and all the lights all at once. Or maybe both, one for each. So that's something I probably should add before too long. That actually kind of looks creepy. So, next floor up, right? As we're going floor by floor here. So I'll probably want to add those light switches before too long, but I've been on a bit of a roll flooring up everything, so I will try to continue that trend. I don't think I'm going to need the padded walls. We just truly haven't really liked the way they look. Flat walls, maybe some arched, I don't know, geometric. That should be good. I don't currently have glass on me, but we'll worry about that if I end up needing it. So, here's the floor. So this is... I don't even know what kind of geometry this is. This is geometric walls. And yeah, maybe in our little power room we'll have geometric walls. Let's sort of match the bottom floor with the gray and white straights. I kind of like that. And we'll do that on the ceilings as well. And then to complete them, I need steel sheets, which I don't currently have. So that would be a bit of a setback. Let me go grab those. And on every floor, I'm going to want sort of light switches to be able to power on and off things without much effort. Running to each individual light and each individual monitor is kind of nonsense. It's not really a sustainable way to power things on and off, so... Alright. I rather like the way that looks. So, for now... that's how it will be. As you can see, these transformers and batteries are definitely putting out some sound. It's probably not the loudest here, but that's because Martian atmosphere is pretty thin. Once we pressurize the base, that will be a lot more easy to hear. All right, so we do have some flat panels here. Now, I know that that's going to drop that. Okay. I was okay with everything dropping except for, of course, this here, this chem station. It is funny that there's, like, just a hole all the way through the base here. I just find that funny. It's because, of course, the Atmo floor doesn't make use of this spot here. So it's just a sort of endless tube. And I rather like it. I could actually keep it like that. There's no reason to necessarily fill that space. It actually looks pretty awesome, being able to see all the piping and everything. But it didn't make for a good chemistry station hole. Alright, so the flat walls, they're called walls, but I'm using them as flooring. I liked in the middle here, so we can put those back. And as you can see, this very much mimics the bottom floor. Actually, no, it doesn't. Let's mimic the bottom floor, shall we? So for mimicking the bottom floor, the stripe has to be next to the flat wall, like that. Yeah, that's I think, the design I'm going to go with. And for the ceiling, we'll probably do very much the same, even though there's a light in it. I don't really care that there's a light in it. Just because trying to find the right ceilings for everything that has lights and everything is just a bit of a pain. We're probably, again, going to want a light switch for this power room. But that's something I can add in down the line. So this is the geometric walls. Nope. Rotate. Voila. And it just naturally comes with that nice gray stripe. And then we're going to want to grab our flat walls. Is this them? Nope, that's normal walls. Yeah, flat walls for the ceiling. And then we have to decide what we want on our walls. We know floor and ceiling, but that's not the full scope. So we do have some flat wall on that one, but I don't know if that's actually what we're going to do. In fact, it probably isn't, because it's very simple and might look good some places, but maybe not on a wall. So, let's see the designs we have. We have the potential for... Oh, those are composite windows in the light. Alright, it's probably not regular walls. Now, the difference is, do we want arched anywhere? Likely not, because it's going to interfere with... Actually, we might want a flat wall, because the back here... I stand corrected. The back here is sort of like a panel. And because we don't want to interfere with the LEDs, flat is kind of nice. And then on the side walls, we might want some design. Yeah, the reason I'm doing it like this is, as you can see, it doesn't interrupt the LEDs at all. It's actually kind of a nice backdrop, to be honest. Arched walls. Now, are arched walls viable here? As you can see here, they kind of clip into the APCs. So again, not all that viable, and that's probably what we'll find everywhere, is arched walls have just bad geometry to make things look good. So if it was geometric walls on the sides here, we could have geometric straights with the stripe along the ceiling. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that's not terrible. I might do the gray along the floor, though, to mimic wainscoting. Oh, look at me using weird words. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. Just to mimic wainscoting. If you're curious what that is, it's, I'm going to describe it wrong, so Google it. But basically, it's when you would have like a two-tone wall, and the bottom would be usually like a wood paneling. But in this case, it's not wood paneling, it's just this gray stuff. And yeah, alright. So this room is effectively done, just without the light switch that I would want to add in. The issue, of course, is where would the light switch go, because it's really not all that obvious. All of the walls are occupied. With the lights off, looks pretty cool. And then the light switch could also control the LEDs, because anything that's informational can be turned off, and it doesn't affect the function of the room. So yeah, it's probably something I'll end up doing. Alright, composite window. I don't have the glass on hand because I don't have the materials for the glass at the moment, but we know that that's what we're going to want there. Which means the flat wall will go here. That's pretty much a pattern that we've established. Flat walls in the middle. Eventually, when that has glass, we'll be able to walk flush on it. And then, continuing the trend, where's my geometric walls? Yeah, there they are. Geometric walls on the sides here. 1, 2, and trace. Cool. I would say it's really shaping up. Now, clearly, this is not where the furniture is going to go. This was all temporary installations that I definitely mentioned when I installed it. The other issue is lighting. So obviously, these walls here are not available for light bars because they're being used. Here is the one scenario where arches might work for once, because there's nothing that really interferes with this arch. So let's see what a two-tone arch looks like. Again, we might not keep it, but yeah, I mean, it's the one spot on the whole base that arches might work, so I can leave them in. I can leave them in. The two-tone doesn't look much like a two-tone, though, so let me see if there's other types of arches that look better. But we can actually use the arches here. So let's see what the arrow looks like and see what the plating looks like. I'll go with plating. Nothing like a nicely plated base, right? Alright. Look at this beautiful room. Now, I might not even have the materials necessarily for the roof here, because the ceiling, and then additionally, we don't have any lights installed, so we wouldn't really want to put the ceilings down yet anyway. So I think this is a good moment to, sort of set things up for us, where we're going to want to install some lights on the roof, and then install some light switches where I've said I wanted light switches. So take a break from the walls and do some wiring instead. And for now, I'm just going to leave all of my walls here. And they're standing up like domino. Oh, not all like dominoes, but I wasn't actually trying to stand them all up. Alright. What is it? Stairs? I actually have no idea why I have an extra staircase. But stairs are a lot of metal, a lot of iron, so might as well melt that down into raw. Now, as you may already know, I'm a little low on resources. Let's get the full count. 73 iron, gold, copper. That's actually probably enough for what I'm trying to do, which is just to, let's get the steel. Actually, yeah, we'll get the steel out. I'm just trying to set up some light switches, which is actually not that resource intensive. And we do have some consoles spare, which is good. So what we're probably looking to do is circuit board power control. That's a really good way to have a functional light switch. Power control is basically on-off switches. That's essentially what it does. Now, there's other ways to do this. You can literally just have a switch, a logic switch, but then it will require you to hook up logic to it. I can do it either way, but the consoles are definitely the easier way than the logic switch. So the logic switch can literally look like a light switch like this, just like the one I set up in the furnace. But by default, it's a dumb object. Doesn't have any sort of intelligence built in. Doesn't have any circuit boards. So we would need to hook up logic to it, readers and writers, and that gets a little complicated when you want it to write to more than one thing. So it would be, in my opinion, it wouldn't be worth it, just because of the complexity, unless you absolutely like the way it looks. Like, that would be the only caveat, is when I would use it. Is, wow, like, I really like this normal light switch. Otherwise, it's going to look like these consoles here. That's exactly how it will look. Now, for this moment, I am essentially just ignoring the fact that I have an unfinished basement. It's not going to be in a pressurized environment, so I really don't care about installing everything that I think it needs. The reason why I don't care is because I can always move it and disassemble it down there, and it won't depressurize the base, which is the big perk. So, light switch right here makes the most sense. Then, alternatively, we have to think, do we want a light switch to control all the lights and the consoles, or a light switch to control just one or the other? Additionally, I could put the switches here as well. So I could have two. I could have one for lights and one for everything else. And that might be what I go and do. So the monitors here are the only things that can float. So if I'm going to set down some light switches, and I'm sort of drawn to this spot here because it's less crowded, even though, yeah, I'm drawn to that spot back there. Just the crowding makes it worth it. I'm low-key positive that I even put that wall back wrong. Alright, that'll look a little bit better. Okay, so let's go get some frames, and let's not pressurize or anything. Some frames and some sheets to be able to plop down our switches. One frame is fine. We're only going to need one. And some sheets. Would sort of make sense to deactivate these and leave them totally open, and that would allow me to move around a lot easier. I'm just saying that would be the smart thing to do, and probably what I'll do in just a moment. The freedom of movement would be kind of nice. I don't have a data disk on me to be able to deactivate this, though. Alright, Mr. Consoles. So we can have two consoles here. One will control the LED displays, and then the other will control the lights, and there's 4 lights. So I'm going to add circuit board controls to them. The lights, yeah, let's go and add cables below, and then disassemble the frame entirely, because We actually don't want a frame there. We'll eventually want a wall segment. So I'm going to need a little bit of glass to finish this off, which means I'm going to detour a tad because I really don't have the glass. And the detour will include me smelting some stuff. I haven't done that in a while. So power on. Everything is, as far as I remember, all set to start immediately working the smelt. So what I'll do here is load up my inventory with all the things I'm going to want to smelt. I'm going to make a run of steel here. And some gold. And let me ditch the frames and sheets to open up some additional room. And I can put some of this in my belt. Actually, I can stack the coal up. There we go. So everything's in the belt. Close the door. Vacuum it out. Oops. And of course I accidentally hit my jetpack instead of... Okay, well, alright. Let's, No, we're good. Volatiles. We want to split... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 volatiles. Sounds good. Alright. And some then 5 oxides. 2, 3, 4, 5 oxides. Once all my volatiles get burned up, it will switch to oxides and combust. Come on. Come on. I don't really like this button activate feature. If I was to do a full... there we go. Finally. If I was to do a fully set up furnace, it would... Well, it would never require any of that jazz. So, the first run will be steel, because steel is the most complex thing I'm making in this batch, which says how easy this batch is going to be. And we needed to count up to 200. Mold's open. There's my steel. Let's go and do silicon. Do run a silicon, and then we could do the gold and the copper and the iron and all that jazz. If we have the heat. But what I really needed is the steel. Well, actually, I had a lot of steel, but I really needed the silicon most of all. I wouldn't mind some extra iron, though. Now, as a reminder, the furnace pressure, it's not hooked up to a portable... it's not hooked up to a portable tank or anything like that, so just because the pressure is high doesn't mean it's going to explode. Whereas a portable tank at those pressures would explode. And I've warned you all a lot that those explosions are no joke. They'll take out a rather sizable base in one blast.
Light on. Light off.
Yeah, we're almost done. And as you can see, there's nothing else to smelt. This was just one big smelt run. Not bad, not bad. Alright, molds closed. The pump switch on.
Jetpack
And
on.
as we pump out, make sure the CO2 filter's on, because that's a lot of the gas that's going to be outgassed. I'm just keeping an eye on this to make sure the pressure doesn't exceed tolerances. And it definitely won't. I don't even need to babysit this. Okay. Well, with these newfound materials, let's go make some glass. So that's... I got sidetracked a little bit, but that's basically what we needed this all for. So I was out of silicon. All the other materials I'm just going to shove temporarily into the electronics printer. All right. So,
Hunger. Caution.
actually, we should learn our lesson. Glass is best made on the fabricator, right? It's half cost, so let's do it over there instead. As much as I hate the search method of the fabricator. Glass is at the bottom. That I remember. Just about it all the way down. Glass sheets. I have 40 cooked up. Speaking of cooked up, I just got a hunger caution. I could cycle through the farm as I wait for the glass and cook myself up just a baked potato. I'll get into more complicated food once I have a base for it. Alright, let's cycle the farm. Now here, I need to make sure to depressurize. If I skip this depressurization phase, what ends up happening is the Martian gas gets introduced into the farm, which is what we don't want.
Light off.
The pressurization phase, not that important. I mean, I should do it, but it's not as important. So, again, CO2, oxygen. It's exactly what we want. There's no foreign gases that we don't want. And, oh, nothing is fully grown. So, there was a bit of a question of, do you have to pull the plant all the way out, or can you just leave the seed in there? I think this is the answer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you have to do a full pulling the plant out entirely and then replanting. But if I'm wrong, please let me know. Maybe I didn't wait long enough for these plants to yield again. Alright, either way, it's replanted, just to make sure that I get it right. And we can watch the pressure go down. And that's not a critical amount of oxygen that I have to worry about filtering that out yet. It won't get there in a reasonable in the foreseeable future. But baked potato, that's right. Chomp, chomp, chomp. No, there's not much to say about eating a baked potato through a helmet, other than magic. Alright, I have 6% of it left. Let's do one more power circuit board, and that will finish off the first floor. And then also, I'm going to want my data disk, wherever I put it, and that will allow me to deactivate those front doors. As annoying as it will be to put them back, because of the way these consoles are slaved to one another.
Light off.
Alright, so if we want to deactivate these, let's search for blast. Nope. What is it? Door? Yeah, there we go. Front airlock door. And interior airlock door. Alright, so basically all I did was I programmed in that these doors are not set up to be operated by console anymore. But it's still not going to let me force them open. Well, okie dokie then. I'll just punch a hole through the walls. You know, like a teenager might. I could disassemble it by unpowering it forcibly, digging up the panel beneath me, and doing it that way. But that's more work than I really wanted to give myself. Alright, so we've got the consoles. I'll power them on. I'm also going to need to name them because they're going to be nameless. And then I also need to name all the lights that I have. Which means labeling. Let's do first four Atmo lights. So this will be the Atmo lights console. And then this will be Atmo light 1. I'm just going to do light 1, light 2. It doesn't really matter. Names here. Outlight 2. Atmo light 3. And Atmo light 4. And that airlock can... We might as well always keep it on. Kind of like an emergency exit light. Alright, so for these to work... And this will be, Atmo monitors console. For these to work, they need to be powered on, wired to something. So, the closest orange cable is literally inches away. Perfect. And this other console here isn't actually going to be orange. It's going to be on purple. So, I have an orange cable there, making it float, but that's going to change. Obviously. Alright, so let's run cabling down. And then the light will be able to... The power console, then I'll code to the lights. I'm going to need to get some purple paint or something for these. But let me set up the first console and then demo it, because I hadn't really actually done this. Turn it on. Throw in the data disk to program it. I'm going to search for Atmo light. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Alright, so now all this does is toggle power to lights on, off. So when they're on, they're on. When they're off, they're all off. Our airlock light does not follow the same rules. Very simple, isn't it? It is extraordinarily simple. It really is for lights. If we had the traditional switches, that would be a different sort of, you know, it would be a bit of a pain in the butt. Not gonna lie. If you think it's easy, let me know how you would do it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but personally, I think it's a pain in the butt. So that's why I'm not doing it that way. Now for this other console, we need to run purple cable. And why purple? It's because all the Atmo LEDs, all these monitors, are on the purple network. So if I connected that to orange, they wouldn't be able to find one another. You have to connect the controller to the grid that it is controlling. And somehow or another, I have a perfect amount of cables for this. Just love it. So, a quick reminder, what is this going to be? N2O, water, volatiles. Alright, so it's basically the chemical compounds of the monitors. And this will take a little bit longer to... I guess I could search on temp. So, let's search on temp. So, nitrogen, CO2, oxygen, pollutants, volatiles, and water temp. And search on pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Isn't there a 7? Come on, let me scroll up. Yes. So let me search on N2O. There we go. Done. That wasn't so bad. Let's reward ourselves with a tasty potato. So, when we turn this off, all of the monitors turn off with it, which allows us to conserve power. So we turn both these off, and basically this floor goes into hibernation mode. This is what hibernation mode would... Well, this would be truly what hibernation mode looks like. You know what? Actually, that looks cooler. Yeah, that looks cooler. I might even remove these these two lights. I've had some people say that these lights are ugly. Talon, I'm looking at you about this flashing light. Because, yeah, there's something pretty awesome about the aesthetics. I know it's dark, but about the aesthetics of this floor when the power is off. But there you go. Monitors for both floors. Done. Let's pick up our sheets. Pick up the other consoles. And slip through here. Now, we were... here's some glass sheets. That's for this porthole, though, right? Yeah. I can leave that there. So actually, there's no... Oh, I have to enter this floor this way. So what we're going to do here is fill in this glass window so I can walk on it more easily. And now, as you can see, it doesn't stop us. It's not flush, but it doesn't stop us. So one of the things I was planning on doing for the windows, before I go any further, I gotta decide where I want to punch my hole, because I didn't... I'll punch the hole here, where my pipes are. That's a good way to remember. Let's see. I bet the furnace here is all vacuumed out, and it is. We got not a whole lot of gas, actually, that's usable. But whatever gas we have, we'll introduce to the tanks in the base. And then, yet again, sidetracked. So, what I was going to do is grab... Maybe... Actually, maybe this is call for arches. So let me stack up all this glass that I let get strewn about. And I'm thinking about what the center of the base should look like. And I actually think that I like the idea of arch walls in there. So let me get my steel. Cool. I love when it's the... Nope, stop. Love when it's the first thing that pops out. And then, of course, I did not close the handle and just kept popping everything out. So, we want kit arch walls. There they are. I'm going to make 8 for now. This vent might look better down there as maybe a future little project. Let me clean up these walls. I think I do just have 31 walls, and they only stack to 30, which is why I have this stray wall here. Yep, that is exactly it. I also had a steel frame. Whatever happened to that steel frame? I put it down, I smelted it. I mean, I removed it. Where'd it go? I had it in my inventory, I thought. But I have no idea where it is. Odd. Yeah, I don't know where I put it. Alright, so here's the concept I have for arch walls. I only need 4 of them to do the 1 floor of the concept. But the idea is, inside here, have inside-facing arch walls. So I know there's no window in here, but it would look something like this. And let's do plating again. Alright, grab my steel sheets. I guess I turned off my stabilizer? Yeah, I did. Alright, so then, the way this looks from a floor above us...
On.
Ooh, there is some clipping problems, isn't there? Also, I can't get down there. I thought that was going to look better. It looks awful. It looks rightfully bad. Alright, so... Darn. I thought I had another use for arches. I do not. Clearly, I am not good at this decorating thing. But the idea is to have, you know, maybe I could go with windows. At this point, because I have little faith in my own decorating abilities, what I'll do is you all can chime in. So, should it be walls of some sort? To make it look, you know, like a chute? Or should it just be windows, or nothing? It could just be nothing, and then you could see the inside guts of the room, you know. You honestly can tell me at this point, because, I'm not really... I don't have strong opinions about it. Let me just clean up the random paint mixers here. So if it was nothing, as it is now, it would look... Oh, come on. These stupid things getting in my way. It would look something like this. Where you could then look down and you see the inner workings. I kind of like that. But my opinion might not be trusted. Does this have walls on them? Yeah, they shouldn't. That should be open. Well, that's 2 more glass we won't need to make. So yeah, you tell me what you think about that. Now, I haven't continued setting up... well, here, what we're going to need is we're going to want some sort of ability to turn on and off the lights in this room. Lights and LEDs, maybe on the same console. No, I'm going to do lights only. And the reason I'm doing lights only is the LEDs would be really, really annoying because they're on 4 separate networks. So instead, what I'll do is one master switch for the lights on the entire floor. And that makes it a little bit easier. That actually makes it a lot easier. Because then it will just be one switch back here, and that will control all the lights everywhere. What's with the damage? I don't know what the damage is. It's like I hit it with a, a welder or something and damaged it. I don't really truly know what's going on there, but alright. I digress. So what we're going to need here is some lights in this room, because there is no lights naturally in this room at all. And I think what it will be is a light bar over the elevator, and then maybe 2 light bars on either side, much like the first floor, which means we're going to need some frames. Lucky for me, I don't have to go all the way back to the start. I have some just frames that are can be cut out of my foundations right here. I think that cryopod is going to have to be moved or removed. I don't know how much I'm going to get rid of it. But yeah, this cryotube, where I had it previously, would block light. It won't block light there. Really depends on how much like flavor I want to add to the to this area. But for now, I can just leave the tube there, because that's a pretty harmless location. And then, of course, I have these floating benches. And for these benches not to float, I need to find a spot that is viable, which means the floor can't be used for other purposes. And I might want to even wheel the benches back a little bit. Not have them coming that far out of the from the wall. So it can't go there because of cabling, but it can go here. Perfect. Alright, as far as chairs go, they are mostly for flavor. I don't mind a chair there. And I guess, let's see where we can put this other chair. There. You can just plop it in there.
Light off.
This is supposed to be somewhat of a lounge room. So for this moment, what I think I'm going to do is... Hold on, let me drop my sheets. I'm going to wrench down some of these mixers, just so that I know where they are. I'm not necessarily keeping them in this order. Just I don't want them floating, because that's a very good way to lose them. Cool. Alright, there we go. So, smelting. One and two. And then we are going to have to decide where to put the light switch. I'll put it here, because the other side is a little bit busier.
Jetpack on.
And then I'm going to need to try to jetpack out of here. Wow, I am really stuck. There we go. And get some lights. Because we don't have lights on that lounge floor. Oh, is this... Hello. Oh, I forgot about you.
Jetpack
Re-up my stash. Man, alright, there is the porthole in the roof. Okay, what was I going to do? The lights. That's right. I think we need 3 lights for that floor. I put that reagent mix through again. I actually don't know where the reagents went.
jetpack.
Why is there a giant hole here? I don't recall mining there. Alright, let's get these lights installed, and that will be the last thing I do for this episode. We're definitely getting there. Oh, there's some spare lights right here. I'm an idiot. Alright, there's one light bar. And the other one. And if I add that one there, I'm going to need to move the gas meter a little bit, but that's totally fine. Or I could have the long angled. Is that... Let's call the elevator and see how weird that looks. Oh! Not powered, are ya? What did I do? I must have really done something. Well, let's figure out what that something is real quick, huh? How's that sound? So let's go stick a cable in here, just so that it doesn't drop. Some items drop when you when you cable them up. Some don't. I don't know which one's which. All right, so we have cables everywhere. Will this drop to? I don't know. Again, let's just cable it on.
Jetpack on.
Alright, so green reads as not connected. Is that? No, that's not burned out. I don't think my vitals is drawing enough power to have burned itself. Not that that's even possible given the failsafes that I have installed. Yeah, only 350 watts. So this elevator is not being powered on. It's kind of a weird issue. Because the battery has power. But obviously, yeah, the green power got cut somewhere to our vitals. So I can track it. So here is the power data. Here's power output. The power output goes... This heavy cable is uninterrupted the entire time. I'm just going to leave this sort of hole in the middle of the base. These window holes are great for service. Then power comes all the way out here. It's on here. So power comes out of the transformer, and at least for some of the transformer, there's no issues at all.
Jetpack on.
So where does the vitals die? Is the question. It works for the emergency for the blast doors, but it doesn't have power back here. So something from back here to the grid is disconnected. So it connects right there. Oh. I welded it. That's what I did. That's pretty much where I was welding my frames. I gotta be more careful with that welder, huh? Because the net result is my elevator shut off. And it wasn't a power shortage or anything, it's just human error. I'm only human. Alright, well, we installed the lights, but that's really as far as I got. Let's call the elevator, see if this long AO light location is going to be a problem. No, it's not that bad. Once we turn that light on, we'll see how bad it looks, but I think it looks fine. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, drop me a line, guys. If you think there's something I need to add to the base or whatever in this stage, not like long-term projects, but the, oh, before you pressurize, you need to add this because it's necessary, let me know, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching. Adios.